Hey there, my Powerbook fans. It's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about Raising Kanan, Season 2, Episode 8, A House is Not a Home. And this was another good episode, y'all. Yes, it was. We got Kanan smelling himself. He really smelling himself. And we got Detective Burke being a fool, and she ain't gonna learn until stuff get hard for her. So let's jump right into this. It starts over Rock. She shows up at Palomar's house and she's telling her to stay away from her son. And Palomar acting like she don't know what she talking about. She said, "Heifer, look, I done asked around about you and I spoke to your daughter, so I know what's going on." And she said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Boy, Rock pulled out that gun. She knew just what she was talking about after that. And she told her, I know that you done this to other boys, and Kanan ain't the first, but he about to be the last. I mean, I'm about to shut you down. And then you got Nosy Famous up there eavesdropping, trying to hear, and he got busted by Rock, who told him, "Go your butt to school." What the heck is wrong with Famous? Been out of school for 2 weeks from what Kanan said. Then we got Unique and Marvin, and they're talking about Sal's son Marco getting killed after Marv sent him to do a job for him. And Unique said he needs to be worried about the partner who's still alive somewhere and talking. And Marvin is calling around the different hospitals looking for the partner. He told me, "I'm looking for a white man." I said, Lord, Marvin done lost his damn mind. Then we got Scrappy's mother, who rolls up on Kanan at a bus stop and asks him to talk to his mother, and asks her to do something. Because she said if she don't do something, she will. And she want to know why Rock ain't trying to find out who killed him. And they're like, because he killed himself. She said, good as well as I did, Scrappy didn't do that. And we all know that, don't we, y'all? Then we got Laverne. She misses school to show up at her mama's house. Y'all, this was a hot something. If y'all didn't see this part, this was too much for me. Showing up at her mom's house, and she tells her, "We all want to talk to you." And she say, "We all," and she opened the door and it's a whole damn church or the whole prayer group or something. And I'm like, what? And she's like, "You don't want to go, don't you want to go to heaven?" So they want to help turn her into the person that God wants her to be. I said, what? Laverne was like, "I'm who I want to be." Anyhow, they have Laverne sitting in a chair in the middle of the living room, and they almost like all around her and stuff. And they have a hand tied, or they holding her hands, and the preacher's asking God to cast out the vile thoughts and demons from her soul and stuff. And she's like, what the heck? And then they put a TV in front of her and have her watching a man and woman kissing and having sex. Hello? Why are y'all? She is a teenager. Y'all are promoting sex to her. Y'all are promoting all of this that she's like hasn't even done. And then the preacher keeps hitting her hand with a whip. And Kenya's like, "Wait a minute, you ain't saying nothing about hitting her." And he's like, "That's the only way to get the devil out of her." And Kenya watches as they continue to hit her. And Laverne looks at her with that expression, "Why are you doing this? Why don't you help me?" I said, and that look means, "I'm going to get you, heifer, one day." That's what it looked like to me. Like, "I'm going to get you. You're going to be sorry for this." Then we got Lou, who shows up in some parking garage with Ziza. And he's asking that radio DJ how come he hasn't heard his song played, and the DJ's like give him some crappy answer like, you got to whet their appetite before you give them the meal and all this stuff. He put that gun in homeboy's mouth and said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "Let me tell you something." And then Ziza laughed when she saw him pull out the gun and everything. And he told him, "My song better play today, not once, not twice, not even 3 times. It better play on repeat all day." I said, "Oh, snaps." He had that gun in his mouth and homeboy was trying to answer. He couldn't answer him. And he had asked him earlier about Crown, and he said, "Crown is on vacation. You gonna deal with me now." Anyhow, that shut his butt up. Then we have Detective Howard. He goes into this captain's office and lets him know that Detective Berg has been reviewing his records and talking to his old contacts. And he's like, "I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt." He said, plus she's like stomping all over his case, the actual case about his shooting and stuff. And he's like, "Why is she doing that?" And Howard said, "I don't know why." He said, "But she overstepping and being a little overzealous, they said." And Captain said he going to talk to her. Now, it seems that Nicole's father, he said, has been getting involved in the investigation and accusing Burke. from being preying on young girls or something and supplying them with drugs. And he said, and she ain't learned her lesson yet. I said, oh, come on now. She about to get herself in a world of trouble. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if that's a bug that Detective Howard put in the father's ear. But we're going to see how this turns out at the end of this season. We now got Kanan. He shows up at Famous' apartment complaining that Famous ain't been going to school. And he ain't been there in 2 weeks, and Famous claims he overslept because Rock woke him up. And he told Kanan everything Rock said, but in an exaggerated way that wasn't really thoroughly true. And so Kanan runs over to Palomar's apartment, and she says she can't mess with him anymore, that his mother said, and he's saying, she ain't gonna do nothing to you. She ain't gonna do nothing to you. I said, come on, Katie, your mother will kill her and you. So stop lying. Trying to act like you could step to your mother. You ain't got that power yet. Anyway, she's like, sorry, baby. And she closed the door in his face, and Kanan gets back to Famous' apartment. And oh my God, I was just like done with what happened then. He comes in there and he finds that Kanan went through his briefcase and opened that letter from Detective Howard to Kanan. There's no way in the world that letter had your name on it, anything. Why are you going through Kanan's stuff? Famous, nosy ass, talk too much, man. Oh my God. And he said, yo, this a daddy test. This that daddy test, yo, because it's saying you don't need this to tell that DEFCON is your father. It says MH, and we know that's Malcolm Howard, honey. So then we have Sal. I have to switch that because Kanan was just staring. There was nothing after that. So Sal is at his son's Marco's funeral, and he's asking Unique who was working with him. He wants to talk to the other guy and find out if he's still breathing. He wants to have a personal conversation with that person. And I said, oh, Lord, here we go. It's about to get ugly. We got Lou and Ziza in the studio, and, she's like, you want to have sex? She's like, no, I don't want no sex with you. All of a sudden, her song comes on the radio. They all happy, and she said, I bet you want to have sex now. And Lou was like, you word. And then they did that. I was like, he need to stop messing with that girl. I'm sick of that. We got Captain. He calls Burke into his office and lays into her behind about conducting her own personal investigation into Malcolm Howard. And she's like, he said, he thought that she had had an understanding, that they had an understanding about keeping her head down and doing her effing job. And she asked, who told you? He was like, I got eyes and ears everywhere. That's why I'm called Captain Baptiste, And he said, this is the first, the last, and final warning, okay? Keep your effing nose out of other people's business. And he said, the bosses are watching you. So you need to be you need to step lightly or something like that, he told her right now. And I said, this girl don't learn. She don't learn, because then she ran into Rock in the supermarket and she started questioning Rock. And Rock wasn't there for it. She was like, if you ain't talking apples and oranges, biatch, you need to step. Get out of my face. Don't say nothing to me. And she's trying to say, it seems like you and Detective Howard had a relationship or something, working together. And she wouldn't even address her. She was like, bye, girl. I don't blame her. But she messed with the wrong one. She gonna get herself killed. Her father, she gonna die in disgrace. She might end up needing her partner to help her in when they have if they get on a call or something and you supposed to back your partner up, she gonna mess up and he might just let her get killed. I have a feeling that's gonna happen. I don't think she gonna last for season 3. If there's a season 3, I really don't. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section, okay? We got Kanan meeting up with his mom to see the new house, and he ain't thrilled about it. Said the South Side is good enough for him. And then he brought up the Palomar thing, and Rock let him know that he's a child and she didn't have to talk to him first. And she said, that's a grown-ass woman in there. She shouldn't be messing with you. She didn't make me do anything I didn't want to do. I told you he was smelling himself when he said that. Anyway, then he told Rock that Scrappy's mother said what Scrappy's mother said, and Rock said she trying to blame others because the truth hurts, and Kanan said, yeah, the truth hurts. I said, uh-oh, he talking about that DNA test. So he walks out and tells her he needs something to clear his head. And she said, from what? He said, from you. I said, oh, no, he didn't. So he passed up an opportunity to tell her how he was feeling because she gave him yet another opportunity like she did when they was up in the Catskills. But he ain't say nothing. Then we have that Sal found out that Dominique was the person with Marco when he got shot. So they went to the hospital to see him and everything. And he told what happened, but he's all apologetic. Like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'd do anything for you. I'm your man and all this stuff. And when Sal left and he found out all the information and he called him a nigga something, that nigga woman's brother with the beard, sent him on this job or whatever it was. And Sal got mad, went to the elevator and said, to kill him, don't let him make it to the morning. And that they should have killed Rock when they had the chance before. I said, come on. Rock ain't got nothing to do with what her brother did. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Marvin gets home and sees that Juke is in the backyard burning the clothes that she got from Kenya with tears in her eyes. And Kanan went to somebody's house ringing the bell. I think it might have been Famous, but no one answered. So anyway, then we got Kanan going to Detective Howard's house and said he needs a place to sleep. And he's like, okay. And he lets him in. Meanwhile, Rock is at home looking at Kanan's empty bed, wondering where the heck her son is. Then we have Marvin and Jukebox. They go to Kenya's house in Harlem. When she comes out, Marvin steps to her. Kenya don't like what he says because about what she calls is sinning, because she was saying that Jukebox is sinning. So he ran off all of her damn sins and she didn't like it. She slapped him and he looked at her like he was going to do something. And Jukebox ran out the car and said, Dad, no. She stopped him before he could jump all over her, And she gave her mother a piece of her own mind with tears streaming down her face. And they walked away and Kenya's like, Laverne, I love you. Laverne, I love you. Anyway, I can honestly say I didn't like that part, what they did to Jukebox. I'm a church girl myself, but honey, we do not do that. I'm sorry. Everybody, who are you to judge anybody else? That just did something to me. That pissed me off. Anyway. Now it's morning. Detective Howard wakes up Kanan and asks him a few questions. He gave him something to eat, and Kanan thanked him and for letting him crash there. And he asks if he has a back door because he don't want people to see him leaving out of the police officer's house, whatever. And Howard said through the kitchen, and he let him leave. I said Kanan got up, ain't folded a blanket, fluffed a pillow, nothing. He was on the couch. I said, damn. Anyway, moving on. We got Jukebox and Marvin. They kind of made up in the car, but not really. Jukebox said he was trying to talk to her, and Jukebox was like, not now, maybe another day we could talk. And he's talking about how he messed up and how he's trying and stuff, and he drops us off at Rock's house and they do a fist bump before you get out the car. She leaned over to let him know. He said, that's okay. He said, I was excited when you called me dad, when you stopped me from, going at Kenya. Anyhow, she gets up into Rock's house and Kanan is packing his clothes to stay with Famous. And they talk about everything that's been going on between him and Rock. And Jukebox told Kanan Famous is living like a crackhead and he need to pack some more drawers because he don't even know how to do no damn laundry. I said, you crazy. Kanan was mad, but he couldn't say nothing because she was right. We got Marvin, Lou, and Rock. They sitting in there listening to Unique. He's telling them what's going on. And she asked Unique, you're the effing mafia whisperer. What does he want? And Unique said, why'd you ask Marvin? And Marvin's like, we don't know that's what it is. And then they learned that the dentist home invasion over there in Westchester, the victim was Marco, Baselli, Sal's son. And Rock is pissed. And Marvin told her he hired him to do a job. She's pissed at him. But my thing is, Marco could have said no. Marvin didn't twist his arm, make him do it or nothing. He could have just said no. Next, we see Kanan looking at the DNA test, realizing his truth about his daddy. And we got the police finding Crown's body in the river with a business card on it with his name on it in the pockets. I'm like, don't people know to check people's pockets before you start killing them and throwing them out? You're supposed to take all the ID off of them. I don't get it. Oh, Lord, listen to me like I'm an expert at this. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Rock meets Sal at the bowling alley. He felt Marvin should have gone through him instead of around him to his son. And I'm like, what? And Rock said, my brother did not kill your son. He said, your brother has to go. Rock said he shouldn't have to pay for your son's F up. His son messed up the thing. It had nothing to do with Marvin. Marvin was just paying money, and he said, that's how the universe balances out. One for one, an eye for eye. I was like, this don't make no sense. He told me I could have killed your son, but he's a child, so I didn't. So your brother got to go. And she was like, no, I'm sorry for your loss, brother, but that's it. And he's like, what is it with you, bro? And all this, you got to flex and show that you pal. She's like, this is how I am with everybody, basically. She said, it don't matter if you got a dick or not, whatever. It ain't proving nothing. This is it. I'm sorry for your loss, but my brother didn't have anything to do with killing him. He did a job for him. He effed it up. That's that. And Sal was pissed. But bottom line, Rock is right. Rock is dead ass right about this. This ain't Marvin's fault. That boy could have said no. He told his partner, don't tell my father about this. So that's on him. And it ended with Marvin going to visit Miss Renee and asking for her advice and guidance. And they were walking and talking, and Sal's guys jumped out and shot at both of them. I'm like, this is so stupid. You want to kill somebody, kill them. Don't do 1 or 2 shots and run. That's some punk behind mess. Anyway, y'all, that's how it ended. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode of Raising Kanan. I thought it was a good episode. It's getting interesting. I can't wait to see what happens at the end. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment now. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this content. Write a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. This your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.